In this video, we're going to discuss, is it too late to become a developer in 2021? Now, if you've been following my channel, you'll know that I create a lot of content around programming and web development in particular. So in my case, I've been learning code for about almost 20 years now. And I like to describe it as learning to code because you are never finished in the journey of learning to program, learning to write code. There will always be new developments coming out. That means you are constantly learning. So that is something that you have to understand when you enter this space. If you want to become a web developer or a software developer, you'll always be learning. And that's something that most people don't quite realize at the beginning. In most traditional careers, you can learn enough in the space of the first few years, and your knowledge doesn't really need to grow that much beyond that point. Whereas if you're becoming a developer or a software developer, maybe you're building iOS applications or web applications, you will always be learning new skills because the tools that we use, the software that we use, and even the languages that we use are constantly being developed over time. So that's something you need to bear in mind, that it is a journey of continual learning. So let's discuss whether there is still opportunities to become a web developer or a software developer in 2021. So I do strongly feel like there is a huge road ahead of us in terms of what we need to do and what we need to build as software and web developers. So there will always be opportunities that are coming your way. New businesses are always starting. New websites, new applications will always need to be built. Now there is a more recent movement that is happening called no code, and you've probably heard about solutions out there that require you to not know any code in order to build something. Especially now in 2021, we hear a lot about no code. This is a trend that is happening now that allows people to create working applications without needing to learn to program them from scratch. Now, I do feel like there is not a direct impact on developers. You will still have major advantage by knowing how to write code. So nowadays the space has changed a little bit. There's a lot of discussion around AI and machine learning, and coupled with these no code solutions, it may make you start to wonder, is there a role for you in the future? Is it worth learning to code in the year 2021? And I still think that even though we have these no code solutions and there's potentially AI out there in the future that can write the code for us, I personally believe that there will still be use cases where you need to have the skills, the fundamental skills to be able to write code on your own. And this is proven time and time again when we have these WYSIWYG editors that came out in the past where you can simply drag and drop the content that you want into place. Now these are nice if you don't know how to program, but you will ultimately hit a point where you need to do things on your own, otherwise they do not work that well. So I've heard the argument time and time again that these softwares will replace the need for a programmer. Now it does it reasonably well to a certain point, but ultimately if you want to do anything complicated or anything customized, you are going to need to either hire a developer or learn to do it yourself. So I do believe that there is a fantastic opportunity for anyone who is getting into code right now, who is learning to write programs from scratch, learning to build websites and web applications. I think there's a fantastic opportunity there right now, and do not be dismayed or do not be concerned about these no code solutions that are coming up. And even the talk around AI and machine learning, these have really great potential in the future. But in the next 10 to 15 years, I really do not see there being such a major breakthrough that programmers are not required. Even till this day, software developers and software engineers are some of the most highly sought after jobs in this era. So there are still plenty of companies out there that are really desperate to find good, talented web developers and software engineers. One of the great opportunities right now is that there are more tools and more programs and more courses out there that make it easier to learn code than ever before. When I first started to learn to code, there was so little opportunity online in terms of learning resources that it made it so slow and so difficult to learn to program. I was browsing HTML pages that had some code snippets, and back then there was no broadband, there was no I don't even think there was Wi-Fi when I was learning to code, so it was such a difficult time to learn anything that you basically had to put in so much effort in comparison to what it is today. These days you have Udemy courses, you have YouTube videos, you have lots of great materials at hand, that it's much easier, much faster to learn than ever before. So I think this is a fantastic time to get into web development, get into software development if you have not already. And I feel like there is such a bright future ahead, and that there are so many opportunities in this space that you are crazy if you're not involved in it. So this is my thoughts on whether you should learn to code in 2021. And hopefully this video has helped you guys in some way. Make sure to drop a comment below on your thoughts on learning to code in 2021. And I will see you all in the next video.